boy Freezer 504. We are the Industry Podcast, and I got my co-host DSB Bub with me.
What up? DSB Bub in the building, the co-host of We're the Industry Podcast. You can follow me at DSB Bub _ or We Are the Industry Podcast on Instagram, man.
You already know. We got the legendary DJ Span straight off that West Bank, man.
What's up, Span?
What's up, bro?
Good? What's up, Span? I'm good,
Go ahead and tell them where they can find you at right quick.
Oh man, DJ Spin 88 on social media, pretty much all the platforms. West Bank bound, grew up in Algiers, 1.5, you know it.
You already know Algiers, that's my hometown.
West Bank, who are you?
Just a regular guy, man. Grew up in Algiers, became a DJ producer, you know, remixes, and just been blessed to work with some of the people that I looked up to, you know, and the opportunities just came, you know, calling.
So growing up in Algiers, were you always involved in music at a young age?
Yes, my mom was, I kind of tell a story before, my mom was a bookkeeper for the Marcellos when I was, you know, right at my teenage years, right, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
And they would have like little parties and stuff, and I kind of be the DJ, you know, on the tape machine, or the records, and my mom had a pool table, so that was kind of a big thing in our household. And grew up listening to soul music and classic rock and other stuff.
So at a young age, you said 11, 12, that's when you kind of started like getting involved as far as DJing?
DJing, it was probably right around 14. I saw Grandmaster DXT on the Grammys a couple of years prior, and then Jazzy Jeff really did it for me. Once I heard Jazzy, I was
Jazzy Jeff, man. Shout out to all the legends, man. Yeah. Hey, so what was your first big event as far as like, you know, you say you started around 14. Did you do like high school, junior high?
Yeah, I did like house parties and stuff is what I really started out, and then once I became of age, 17, I DJ'd a couple of spots. Mudbugs, Gas Beast, some of those little things. A person that I really looked up to was Davey D from Q93. He was doing the teen spot, and he always talked to me, and you know, I watched him, and once I became of age, I started DJing clubs.
All right.
So, as I was talking to you, you said you used to be at the warehouse.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
that's before my time, and
Yes.
before D time, and phone parties, and you told me about a spot on the West Bank that I used to go to. Y'all know it. I mean, I'm gonna let you introduce it, but tell us about it.
So y'all know it as the Platinum Club, but when it was originally I was there, it was called Cannibals. Shout out to my guy Rocky on the spot, and really gave me a shot on DJing up there.
That was that's where they had the teen club.
Yeah,
man.
I forgot you used to leave the name of it, but it used to be rocking.
I was young, I think like 13, 14. I went in there a few times with my sister. They used to go there all the time.
They used to be rocking in there. I've been there a few times too.
Yes.
So who are some of the people that you worked with that like in the industry, as far as like citywide, or like some of the people you work with like nationwide, like, you know, and what did you do for them, and did you enjoy working with them, and you know, what's some of the ins and outs about it that you could give the people that's upcoming, like engineers or producers or, you know, beat makers or whatever?
Learn everything. That's my one thing. I teach at Loyola as well with my guy UP. He brings me in for sessions and stuff, and the kids. I have some engineers and TAs that come over here and work, and I tell them all the time, learn every aspect of the music business. You know, if it's business as far as paperwork, learning how to stage handle, like you saw for Chicken Fest and Arcadia Fest. Learn how to DJ, learn how to produce, learn how to engineer, learn everything that you can possibly, learn in this field, because it's not just one thing anymore, it's everything.
And I'm pretty sure like now it's way easier for you to learn that stuff than from when you was coming up. So
these kids got YouTube
now.
Yeah. We didn't have YouTube.
So they got a big old advantage on y'all. So
I had to wait for the video to come out, or somebody asked to come teach me or show me something. So it was way different.
So how important is it for somebody, especially a DJ, to know their audience?
It's really it's really important.
Right.
You got to know how to read a crowd. I always say, if you can play here, you can pretty much play anywhere. I know a lot of people say New York and California and all. You come here.
So is it true when they say you can have 100 people in the room and if the DJ have one person dancing, they did their job? Is that true or that's just a myth?
Yeah, I mean, that's true if you're playing for yourself. You know, if you're playing, you know, records that are, I call not popular or not the hits, you know, people just don't really, but the groove is there. Yeah, you done your job. You know, and Jazzy's he'll say that all the time. You know, if you watch Jazzy, you go into a Jazzy party, you're going to groove off of something.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to pop your head.
Yeah.
You know, these kids don't dance like we used to dance back in the day. They just...
But from listening to you, you're going to bop your head to your stuff too, because you go. You do your thing.
What kind of preparation do you do as far as like, say you about to go open up like one of these festivals? Like, what's your preparation to say, all right, I'm going to pick this song or I'm going to mix these songs down?
It's knowing the whole audience. It's knowing white, black, Asian, whatever it is, young, old, middle age, whatever it is. You're going to hear something from me all over the place. I'm going to catch everybody. That person might like what I played for the old people, but the young people might, you know, you know, it'll come together. You know, they'll sing. You know, we'll get them going. You know.
What about working with artists? Like, what's your kind of preparation? You know, you got an artist you're working with, you mixing down the songs or whatever.
Just to vibe off the song. You know, just vibing off of you know, what we created. You know, what his ideas are, what my ideas are. You know, and just putting them together. You know, that's something that don't really happen these days. You know, artists don't work together. Everybody sends emails, beats or
They really don't come together as one.
You know, you gotta. The artist has to be, you know, produced. Like you have to share these ideas of, you know, I might like something, you might like it, but we'll figure out, you know, why you like it, why you don't, you know, and we just come together. We'll fix it, and you know, we'll do what's best for the song.
What was the hardest thing for you from now to become Spin? Like, what was the hardest trial and tribulation that you had coming up to now?
Listening, just listening to the people that were before me. You know, we have a tendency to think that sometimes, you know, in my 20s, I was good, but I wasn't great. But I thought I was great, but I was really good. You know, so it took me a minute to learn and watch and just observe what was going on around me.
So,
you know?
Who would you consider like your mentor in DJing?
If anybody knows me, y'all know that KLC is like my brother.
All right,
we ride together.
Right?
We ride together, die together. I talk to him every day. We always talking about something. Manny Fresh was another guy that
shout out Manny, man.
Yes, you know, that's the run with Manny. Helped Manny get back into DJ, and he's doing his thing. Him and Julie are back on the road. That makes me happy as can be.
So you just shouted out KLC, you shouted out Manny Fresh, Juvenile. Like who else? Like who else you done encountered or ran into or worked with?
Slim, as people know, I used to DJ for Slim various times. KL was originally Slim's DJ, and he'll always be, but I was the one that, you know, would go on the road with him, do show edits when I couldn't go, you know, put it on disc and just run with Slim, man. Slim was a good dude, man. He was a wild boy, but I loved him to death. You know, BG, Wayne. I have a song out with Wayne called "Till She Lose Her Voice" that he blessed me with the vocals, so I'm glad at that. Chopper, you know, my good dude.
You're well, brother.
Yeah, get well. We love you. You know, I manage Chopper. You know, so I worked with a lot of people, and you know, anybody you probably.
So you been since BG's back home. Have you put in some work with him?
Yes, I went up there to Vegas shout out my dude DJ Tony Neal, had a core DJ event up there, and had BG really involved in bringing the DJs and him together, and was in the studio with KLC, Don from Full Pack, and me and myself and Street Kings, and yeah, we got some work in. That boy's working. He is putting it down.
A lot of y'all be walking past the legend, no one's know. You know what I mean? You really worked with a lot of people. You really put your work in. Yeah, you really put your work in.
So, like, out of all the artists, which one you feel like you got the most connection with? As far as, like, just coming in the studio, like, they know what you gonna do, you know what they gonna do.
Right now it's Chop.
Chop.
Chop was my man.
All
You
right.
know, that point in his life where he just listens. He knows what he wants and how he wants it, and we just come together. We just click so well. Like we vibe so well off each other.
So recently we just had the Fried Chicken Fest that all of us just was a part of, and it was a nice event. And you was the DJ there, and you was one of the people that brought everybody together for Chop. How was that experience, or was that a difficult experience getting this guy to come in, and then you brought some people out that a lot of people didn't see in a long time.
Right.
So, like, how was that experience?
Well, it was it was a great event. Much love to everybody, but it was Chopper's purpose to get, especially to take 4 people together.
Right.
The Lisa Amos, the Hot Boy Ronalds.
Willie
Fucker, Jubilee, it was his goal. That was what he wanted to do.
Okay.
And Baby Boy the Prince being his little brother, I thought it was almost deserving that Baby Boy,
It was a fire.
Yeah,
If you was in there, it was something to see.
Shout out Poison Crime,
Yeah.
Kango and Mina blessing us.
Shout
We
out.
just had, we had a good time. We turned up for Chop, and it was our really first time doing the band thing, and I think it
was a success.
Yeah.
It was.
I was really happy with
It
it.
was.
Yeah, shout out the band, man. It was
was.
not hard, man.
Yeah. What's the guy on the drums?
That's Milk.
Milk.
the drum.
Major shout out to
We
him.
call him
Yeah, he was doing
chocolate
his-
chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing his thing.
Yes.
Doing his thing. So, my other question is now, you inside the city and there's different local artists that's buzzing and doing their thing. So, you could pick, like, if there's anyone that you particularly like, I grab him and work with him and, I just make something for him that's just nice that I know he could go to the top, like, or her. It doesn't make. Do you have like a person like that in mind?
Working with this girl, Irie, she was on stage. I produced for her. She's really talented. I have another person that I really admire is this girl called the Snow Bunny, with a real Snow Bunny.
Okay.
She can rap.
Okay.
She can rap.
Shout out to her then.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I've seen, like Nati and certain people, but like just the words and the stuff that she does is like, wow, like I haven't seen this in a long time.
Tell the people where they can find that.
The Real Snow Bunny on Instagram.
Oh, Irie.
Irie Music on Instagram.
Okay. So you could give any advice to the up and coming producers, engineers, like besides listen. I know you say that's like the hardest part. You listen. So like, what's other advice you could give them?
Just get on your craft. Perfect your craft. Right? If you're a producer, learn everything about producing. Learn how to do your drums. Learn how to different patterns. Singing, same thing. Learn different tones and watch certain people. Same thing with rapping. Learn different cadences and learn how different styles and try. Don't be afraid to try things that are new.
How do you feel about like people that are trying to multitask, trying to be an artist, trying to be an engineer, an entrepreneur, like all in one? Like, you think it's more important for them to kind of like just focus on one thing and master that, or you feel like it's okay to be multitasking like that?
I think it's okay to multitask, but you got to know when you need help.
Right.
You can't. I'm one to tell you, one who's tried to do it all, you can't.
Right.
You
You
can't.
always need help in something.
Yes, you always.
Yeah, I always feel like that. Like, you gotta have a team.
Yes, and us as men in general, like we're really prideful.
Right.
That we really pride on what we're doing. That we can do it ourselves. But sometimes you just gotta find a person or find just a team, like you said, and just find somebody to help out.
Yeah, 'cause I had an interview with Lucky Johnson, and that was something that always stuck with me when I told to him. Because he was like, man, he brought us all to the table, and he was like, what y'all do? And all of us was like, we do this, and this. And he was like, look, y'all got to pick one thing. You can't be all over the place because, you're not going to give 100% to everything.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I really stick to DJing and producing. That's what I do. But I do, I do manage. I do other things. I do engineer. I own the studio.
Right.
So it's a lot of things that come with, running a business and being an entrepreneur.
But so since you brought that up, let's talk about management. So you manage like as in management team, like as in rapping or anything?
Really, Chopper's my really first artist that I really managed besides Snow Bunny.
Okay.
Just to help her out, but me and Chop really came together and just tried to build a way of him, running his business to where everything is straight. Like who to call for this. We talk about how do you want to do this? Like there's a whole collective of how we handle things, and as you could kind of see the direction that he was going in.
Yeah. So,
before the accident.
So for the people that need management, that's serious about their craft, how would they go about until if they want you as their manager, how would they go about into getting you managed?
I have to believe in you. I have to believe in you first, and I have to make the time to understand where you're at in your career and what is your goal for the next step, because everybody's not ready.
Right.
And I have a philosophy on what you bringing me. You have to invest in yourself before I will invest in you.
Right.
So you have to show me
effort or
yes.
something. And that's what a lot of artists think it's easy. Like they think it's just getting in the studio and rapping. You got to put time out. It takes money to make money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to get out there. You got to, sometimes you got to hang your posters up on the street sign. Sometimes you have to go pay that DJ that extra money to get your stuff. And a lot of people they don't. You
got to build relationships.
Yeah, you have to.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about at the end of the day, everybody needs to make a dollar, but I tell people, it's loyalty and respect over everything else.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that loyalty and respect, people gonna, gravitate to you. They're gonna understand. So if you go see that DJ, or you go, talk to him, or hit him up on Instagram or whatever, man, that mix was fire, man. Can I get in? That's a lot of respect. They're gonna understand that you watching them, and they
One thing I learned about this game that we in, three of us, camera, you can't burn your bridges. Once that bridge burnt, it's like you blackballed in the game. Like real talk. And that's one thing, you can't burn your bridges in no aspect. You know what I'm saying? So
how you feel about like up and coming DJs? They don't I see you mixing down on stage.
Yes.
They got a lot of DJs now. They just got their laptop and they just letting songs play. You feel like that's real DJing or
no? Not in the sense of where we came from. It's more of a culture thing now. So that's what was hot at the moment. So that's what they want to become.
Right.
But they have to really learn the craft. They got to learn how to blend. They got to learn how to mix. They got to learn how to scratch. They got to learn how to read a crowd.
Right.
You can't just go and play the top 20 songs and just expect that, the party's going to be lit.
So you saying as a DJ, is it time to play this rap song, or is it time to play this slow song, or is it time to play this bounce song? So is it time for everything dealing with the crowd? That's what you're saying as far as a DJ?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll keep it. Yes. So you gotta really know what you're doing. You gotta really take time to perfect everything that you doing as a DJ. You have to, that's one thing that Captain Charles taught me, was just to learn pick out what records go, what audiences in mind, and I did a lot of opening gigs, for Cap, and that taught me a lot about when it was my time to come up, when I came on after Captain Charles, to bring the energy where Cap had it, to bring it up to even higher, you know, and that took time, you know, and you know.
So what kind of advice can you give to like an up and coming DJ as far as like, you know, investing in themselves? Say they just getting started, buying some equipment. You know what I'm saying? Maybe how to raise some money or some cheap equipment that they could buy and just build off of that equipment.
Well, now it's what's a little bit different. They have grants and programs now, you know,
Right.
for artists and upcoming producers and stuff. So you can go to the government website and fill out, you know, applications for, you know, the Grammys has a program, CARES program. You fill it out and get grants or find out what's going on in the city. They got programs to get, you know.
And a lot of them don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't. You know.
Right.
So you think it's easy, like these days, like as far as DJ, and or is it like what you make out of it?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or do you think it's just? I'm not gonna say like actually the city of New Orleans like craft the buck. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you think if you take your craft and you're serious and you leave from here, you think you'll blow up more? 'Cause I see that a lot. That some people take their craft and leave from here, and then like you know they're on their radio stations out there, and they they have concerts and stuff out there. So what you think is, what you think is here that they're doing wrong?
I just think us as New Orleans people, we get content in where we're at. You know, we are satisfied with local success, and it's a bigger world out there. It's a
way bigger world.
Way,
Right?
you know,
Local success.
you know,
Uh-huh.
you know, and that's and I tell artists, you have the spotlight on you. However you look at it, Drake shined the light on Bounce, and just New Orleans music in general. He regenerated what was coming up, so you got to take that and run with it.
Right.
It's you see the stuff that's coming out of New Orleans. It's viral.
Right.
It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. So.
So, as far as like traveling, like what was like one of your craziest experiences on the road? And then after that, I see you always have your daughter with you.
Oh yes, yeah.
Is she inspired to be a DJ too?
She's just a music person.
All
She's
right.
just a music like since she was a little one. She would
Right.
she would just be in the room with me when producing or whatever, and just bobbing her head, and she just loved to
She
sing.
was at the festivals? She was at the
Yeah,
festivals?
yeah,
At all of them? She was at the
Yeah,
West
she
Bank?
she goes to most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
You know.
Like if you go look on this page, you're gonna see her. She's taking pictures with all the celebrities.
Yeah.
She's dancing on stage.
Yeah, she loves Trombone Shorty. Shout out Shorty and John
Yeah.
Baptiste. She loves she listens to those albums all the time. She's always
Right.
and it's a Taylor Swift weekend, so
Right.
so
Yeah, Taylor got the city
yes,
going
on
crazy.
lockdown.
Right now.
Yes,
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah, she got a real perimeter around this.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it's security one
Right.
around here.
So, what was one of your craziest like moments on the road?
I tell this story. I was on the road with this guy. Shout out Chris Thomas King. He's a blues singer. Dad Tabby Thomas, blues singer out of Baton Rouge. They had a bar room. It's really good. I DJ'd in Norway. It was either Norway or it was Norway. And we went on before Al Green.
Oh, wow,
And
that's big.
Yeah, it is.
this story gets a little interesting.
Right.
So we about to get off, and Al looks at me and tells me to stay on
Right.
and scratch during part of his set. So I just found my time, and cut, do a little couple of things,
Right.
and when I found time, it was time to go off. I kind of backed off and I did my time with Al.
Man, worked with Al Green, man.
And
Sure.
we get up that morning. We're leaving to go. I think we're leaving to go to Czech Republic. And guess who sits next to me?
Al Green.
Al Green.
Right.
And we had a conversation that was incredible.
You remember it to this day? Not ex, but yeah.
Yes, it was.
It's something. It's like
yes,
it was a motivation
like,
type deal for you.
Yes, it was one for the books. I can say, that's
Right.
really was a big time for me.
So, at what point in your career did you know like you made it? like you know, like I'm successful.
When I got a check from the Saints.
You got a check from the Saints.
Yes.
Shout out to who they. Even though they losing right now, shout out
Yes.
who they. It's still who they. You hear me?
That's when my mama,
Right.
you know, she was like, yeah,
You the one.
Yeah.
yes, you did it.
That's big.
Because parents don't believe in you. Like,
Right.
I got married really young. Got married at 21, 20, and everybody thought it was just a fad. It was just a hobby,
Yeah.
you know. And you know,
I think like a lot of people go through that, even as like an artist, you know, they're like, man, that's a hobby, and it really just take that one song or that one connection that really could just take you to a whole nother level.
well, I was a black sheep of the family.
Right.
That's how you came in it, like as a hobby, just to do something like time pass, or you came in it knowing that you're gonna be what you're gonna be now.
I didn't know what it was gonna become.
Right.
I just knew I had the passion for it, and what I was doing was being looked at. So it just gave me the motivation to keep on.
Right.
You know, I tell everybody, you know, pre-Katrina, I was DJing 6 nights a week, making $500, $600.
Right.
You know, I was, you know, everywhere. That's, you do the math. You know, at that time, early 2000s, you know,
Right.
it's a good enough living for me.
Right. Right.
Some people don't make that in, you know, in a month.
So like when Katrina happened, how did that impact you as far as like did they like stop your progression or did they like boost you and help you like tour different cities?
I tell everybody, as people know, I was on radio, I was on B97, I was on Hot 104.
Right.
You know, I did Q93, but before pre to Katrina, I was on Hot 104.
Okay.
And me and Downtown Leslie Brown had this show, and it was
Shout out to her.
yeah,
Cool.
it was number one, and we got some great sponsorship, and we were Hot 104 was killing the city.
Right.
We were playing everything that the streets
right.
wanted. We was doing, and then Katrina hit.
Right.
And then the station kind of just died. And shout out to Big Herc and Tim Smooth and EF Cutting. They took it over and made the Big Ass Morning Show. And I ended up moving on. And DJing became digital. Serato came.
Right.
So I had that time frame from Katrina to the following, you know, maybe like March, April, where I really sat down and I started to burn all my vinyl. And I tell DJs, clean music is golden. Radio music
You
is
always
golden.
need a radio version.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it saved my career after Katrina.
Yeah, always need that
You
radio
know,
version.
and
That's major.
So if Katrina didn't hit, Hot 104 would have been popping right now.
I think it had a really good run. I think it had legs to really impact what Q93 was doing.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Q93 was man. It was on the edges for a minute. We had them. You know.
Yo, you brought up Big Hurt. You bring him on the road a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that relationship and like just how y'all connected and you know what makes you so confident in bringing him out there.
Been my MC since the warehouse days.
The way I was there.
Yes, I trust him. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's just a great MC. He's a radio personality. He's just a
His
person.
voice just give it all.
Yeah, it
His
does.
voice by
Yes.
itself.
Yeah, he's just a great dude, man.
Yeah.
And I trust him completely.
Cool. Yeah, he really gave me like some WWF feel when we was out there at the Acadian Music Fest, like some of his slogans and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude, he's incredible, man. I ain't gonna lie. He kept the crowd in tune.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he knew what he
y'all
did.
both did. It was
Because he gives me a break. So, you know,
Right.
he gives me a break to take my time, you know, to
Find what you need to find and
just
yeah.
cue it up and just go off of what is this. Because it's a DJ MC, you know,
Yeah,
MC
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
So
the vibe. Yeah.
constant, you know, it's just bringing in the right records and know what the feel is, you know. And as you can see, you know, the music was all over the place.
Right.
You know, it was from Boosie to Garth Brooks, you know, and
Right.
it was like, but they sung
It's
it.
crazy. Went back to all the way to 2000, like early 2000s. Like it was dope. That's why I was just sitting on stage and I'm like, man, they really like touching every aspect.
And I even took a request. I even took "Making Love" to you. You know, and I played the Trip Out song. You know, shout out to Polo because he sent me the radio version like 5 minutes before I went on. You know,
so as in us, you know, even a camera person. Shout out to the camera person.
Shout out Speedy Rule,
Speedy
man.
Rule.
Speedy Rule, Eddie Sherman, y'all
Legend right there.
Yeah, so even Speedy, you know, we all in the same generation, and you're in a time, you know, different. So what can you give us to stick with, to keep going with our dreams and our, like, you know, what motivation, you know, in a brief sentence or in a brief, you know, statement, what you could give us? Or just for anybody, just not us, but, you know.
Believe in yourself and what you do, and it'll come.
Right.
You know, I am a true believer, and it will, you know, what you give out will come back to you. You know, and it's just time. It might not be the day tomorrow, it might not be next year, but it'll. I remember Papa coming up, Voices of the Street with Bombshell. You know, and I always told Papa, your time's coming.
Right.
You know, and it came.
So they really got some legends in this city.
Oh yeah,
like some real legends.
Shout out Money Fresh, my dog, man. JMK, my dog. You know, we got some DJs, Captain Charles. Like we got, you know.
Yeah. Man, Willie Puckett stole the show, man. I mean, once you saw that, like, from your position, from where you at, and you saw him, like, I knew you just laughed. Like, he really stole, like, he really enjoyed this.
I knew Willie. You know, I knew what he was going to do. I knew why we love him so much. That's Willie. You know, that's what Puckett does, man.
Right. You knew he was gonna turn up. But when we was backstage, he was already dancing on the
backstage.
But that was good for him because he got to see everybody. He got to kick it with Jubilee.
Right.
He got to talk to Partners Crying. He got to talk to Lisa Amos. Like he got to really, you know, that. In my honest opinion, that was my first time seeing Willie and Lisa perform that song.
Right.
You know, together in my time of DJing. So that was people
was
might have not noticed it, but that was a big thing for me.
Right.
You know?
And people really didn't notice who she was since she started singing her part of that song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know, shout out to them. Shout out to them.